Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Maria Studies Math. For today we'll be studying reducing fractions to lowest terms. If you are wondering why I'm speaking in English instead of my mother tongue, which is Bisadyang Dako, it's because there are other people who do not understand Cebuano or Bisaya, which is why I decided to do my lectures from now on in English. So again, for today we'll be studying reducing fractions to lowest terms. So, what do we mean by fractions in lowest terms? When we say fractions in lowest terms, these are actually fractions whose numerator and denominator do not have any common factor except 1. So, what are examples of these fractions? Let's say 2 over 5, or what we call as 2/5. Another, 1 over 121, or let's say 31 over 100. Okay, so these are all fractions in lowest terms because both the numerator and denominator do not have any common factor except 1. So how do we reduce fractions to lowest terms? Reducing fractions to lowest terms is actually quite simple. So we can do it in 2 easy steps. So step 1, you have to find the GCF, or the greatest common factor, of the numerator and denominator. Step 2, divide both numerator and denominator by the greatest common factor. So before you actually proceed with this lesson, you should be able to know how to find the greatest common factors of numbers. Now let's try some examples. What if we're asked to find or reduce 108 over 162 to lowest terms? Okay, so step 1, find the GCF of the numerator and denominator. So it would mean that we will have to do the prime factorization of 108 and also 162. So 108 can be factored as 54 times 2. Okay, so 2 is already a prime number. Now we have 54 can be factored as 9 times 6. And 9 can still be factored as 3 times 3, where 3 is a prime number. And 6 can still be factored as 2 times 3. So the prime factors of 108 will be 3, 3, 2, 3, and 2. This time, let's do the same thing with 162. So factors of 162. So that would be 81 times 2. So 2 is a prime number. Next one, 81 can be factored as 9 times 9. And 9 can be factored as 3 and 3, which are prime numbers. And then do the same thing on the other side. So now that we already have the prime factorization of both numerator and denominator, let's get the greatest common factor. So let's find the common factors between 108 and 162. So first we have the 2 here. Both have 2. Another is 3 here. 3. Another 3. Okay, so that would mean that the GCF, so GCF of, 108. Sige, kaya ko to. GCF of 108 and 162 is, let's multiply all of those numbers. So that's 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so even if you rearrange them, the 2 is at the end, it's fine because when you multiply them, you will still get the same answer. So this is actually equal to 54. So now that we already know their GCF, that would mean we will have to divide both the numerator and the denominator by that certain number. So that is divide by 54, divide by 54. So 108 divided by 54 is equal to 2. 162 divided by 54 is equal to 3. If you ask me how I did that, just divide. Okay, kaya nyo na yun. You can do it. I believe in you. Or, just look at it this way. The remaining number that is not highlighted here in 108 is 2. The remaining number that is not highlighted here in 162 is 3. That would mean if I divide both of them by 54, the remaining numbers are the quotient, which is why I got 2/3. So the lowest term of 108 over 162 is 2/3. Okay? Now, let's try another example. What if we are asked to reduce 87 over 29 to lowest terms? So first, we have to find the GCF of the numerator and denominator. So again, we will have to do the prime factorization of 87. So 87 and 29. So 87 actually looks quite difficult to identify what its factors are. So let's try 29 first. So 29 can actually be factored as 29 and 1, right? But this time, since it's a factor of 1 and itself, so that would mean 29 is already a prime number. So you don't actually need to factor it like this anymore. So 29 lang agad. You can just encircle the 29 there. Now let's try 87. So 87 can actually be factored as 29 times 3. Why did I think that it's 87 can be divided by 29? Because the denominator doesn't have any other factors aside from itself and 1. Okay, so now that we have 29 and 3, 29 we have identified earlier that it is a prime factor. 3 is also a prime factor. And for us to find the greatest common factor of between the two, that would be obviously 29. So from there, we could actually divide both. Step 2, divide both numerator and denominator by the GCF. So if we divide both numerator and denominator by 29, we will get 3 over 1. Or, when we say 3 divided by 1, it's actually equal to 3. So our final answer should be 3. The lowest terms of 87 and over 29 is 3. So that is how we reduce fractions to lowest terms. So I hope you learned something new from our discussion for today. Hopefully I could see you next time. Thank you for watching another episode of Maria Studies Math. Bye-bye!